Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we got another video. Today is one of the little less fun ones. I'm going to be doing a tutorial, specifically an Ingram Spark tutorial. I know I'm in front of my bookshelf. It's mostly because it's stacked to the brim with these babies, and this is an Ingram Spark book. So yeah, this is another book. This is another video in the Ingram Spark series. Today I'm going to be telling you guys how to add a title to Ingram Spark. This is going to be, again, a tutorial, so I'm going to be doing a screen share and just talking over what I'm doing to let you guys know how to go through the process, so that way you guys have a video to reference when it's your time around and you're adding your book to Ingram Spark's website, because their website is very counterintuitive and is sometimes a huge pain to follow. So hopefully this will help you guys out. This will also let you know how to do pre-orders through Ingram Spark, because their pre-order system's a little strange. There's multiple dates you have to set and it gets really confusing, so I'm going to go over how you should set the date so that your book goes available for pre-order. Alright, let's talk adding a title to Ingram Spark. So I'm going to operate under the assumption that you guys can start an account. It isn't super complicated as far as I remember. So you're going to click on the tab up here in the dash that says title, and you're going to go do add titles. Open up. Now you have three options right off the bat: print ebook or print and ebook. You're going to want to choose print and ebook because it's cheaper that way. Essentially, Ingram Spark charges you $25 each for the cover file and the regular file, so $50 total. But if you upload the ebook with the print book, they don't charge you the $50. So you get the ebook basically tagged on for free. So then you come over to title, and that's pretty straightforward. I'm going to be using Aletheia as an example throughout this whole thing. So language, English, that's just the language that the book is written in. Short description is optional. It's not the synopsis. That's basically just if you want to describe what your book was about. I chose to leave it blank because the full description down below is where you would put your synopsis, which is all we really need for normal fiction novels. The short description I think is generally used for textbooks. So now you have keywords, and these are separated by semicolons. I separated them by comma. Don't do like I did. It should be separated by semicolons. And these are just keywords that relate to your genre or your book. So dystopian, apocalypse, new adult. And of course yours would be different. Like if you have a fantasy book, it would be baby fantasy, adult fantasy, romance, all of that good stuff. You're probably familiar with keywords by now. Then we have our series name and number. If your book isn't part of a series, don't worry about this. If you don't know if your book is going to be part of a series yet, you also don't have to worry about this. It's pretty much metadata. And then the full description, and that is where we're going to put in our synopsis. So that's the synopsis for Aletheia, and then we continue. So now we have contributors, and essentially what that means is authors. This is mostly just useful if you have multiple authors that worked on it. So just put in your name and then hit next, and then we get more options. So now find subjects. So this is going to be basically the genre that you want your book placed in. This is used for metadata purposes, but basically just click that find subject and search for kind of the genre that your book falls in. Now imprint, just to give a little background on that, that's basically your publishing company name. I don't know if it's required that you have an LLC for your publishing company, but you do need to put an imprint name there. So just kind of name your press. It is preferable if you have like an LegalZoom LLC kind of small publishing company to brand with, but I don't know if it's required. And then your audience, so young adult in that case. Does your book have photographs? No. You can add review quotes, it's not necessary. Table of contents, not necessary. Here I goofed it up a little bit, so because I put in young adult up there in the find subjects, and then I put in audience of adult, there's a mismatch there and it wouldn't let me continue as it was. Alright, so now trim size, and this is the actual size of the book. I recommend you look at some books around your house to see what kind of size you want to have if you haven't decided it yet. I went with 6x9. And then color is pretty much always going to be black and white unless you have a textbook. I went with cream pages, you can do white. Then we of course have hardcover and paperback. And the hardcovers have the cloth inside for blue and gray. And then your lamination type, which is basically the covering on the cover. So I liked matte, but gloss is shinier, it works better with blacks. And then our page count, and that is your final page count after the copyright pages and all of that are tacked on. And then this is what's going to get printed on the hardcover spine. And we hit continue, and now we get this lovely page. Now, Ingram Spark, unlike CreateSpace, does not provide ISBNs. You have to bring your own ISBN to this. Down here, I want to bring attention to this publication date. This is something that got Josh and I stuck for a really long time. This publication and on sale date thing is terrible. So if you want to have your book up for pre-order, you would think that maybe the on sale date is the date it's available for pre-order, and the publication date is when people can actually pick it up and is actually released, or vice versa, because there's two different dates they want you to put in here. So clearly there should be a difference between the two dates, but there isn't. Disregard these dates. Essentially, your book's going to go up for pre-order as soon as you enable it for distribution. You can't actually set a specific date your book is going to go up for pre-order. So these dates are both the date that your book is actually released to the world. So make sure to set both dates, both the on sale date and the publication date, to the same day, which is the day you want your book to go live out into the world. And if you don't set these to the same day, and you do what we did the first time around and you set the on sale date to be the date you want the pre-order to go live, then Amazon won't list your book as a pre-order. It will list it as out of stock, and you'll get stuck calling Amazon for 3 weeks and just 24/7 calls with them to get nowhere. So please, for your own sanity in the future, set both of these dates to the date you want your book to actually release into the world. And then we have all of these little print retail price sections. There's, of course, the wholesale discount. Now, I have a whole video on wholesale discount, so if you're interested in that, you don't know what that is, then go check out the video. I'll link it in the description down below, and that will also tell you kind of how to price your book. So once you've watched that video, you'll know what these numbers mean, and you'll put in your print retail price. The returnable thing is a little tricky. The returnable has to do with physical bookstores generally won't buy a book unless it's returnable, but if a book is returned, then you have to pay the printing cost for the book, and it can get really expensive. So unless you're kind of a pro at this, I wouldn't recommend enabling returnable. Returnable is something you should only do if you're trying really hard to get your book in bookstores and you know all of the ins and outs of how that works, because it is really risky. So set no for returnable. And again, the wholesale discount is very important. Make sure you know all about that. Go watch my video and set your price. Then just go and use the Google converter to just convert your US dollar price to, United Kingdom and European Union and Canada and all of that. This is just a little warning. You just have to click OK. There's some information for you guys. It's basically just what I already said. But if you're really interested in reading it, you can pause this and read it. And yeah, so I can't go any further than that because the ISBN is already in use, because that is Aletheia's official ISBN. But after this page, we would continue to the final verification step. So since I can't show you guys that without creating a new book, let's just go and look at some of the details we have on a final version after it's been approved and everything. So this was the original Arc of Aletheia. This is the first book that we ever added through Ingram Spark. So here you can see kind of the afterwards data. Enabled for distribution is set to no. So what that means is if you went on Amazon.com and you search for Aletheia Arc, or you search this ISBN, you won't find anything because it's not enabled for distribution. Now the publication date did already pass, but no retailers got the metadata for this book because I never enabled it for distribution, because these were the arcs. So we ordered them to Cloud Kitten Publishing, directly delivered to us. We overrode the sale ban to get them delivered to us, and besides that, no one else got the data and the book never went up for sale. So this is the actual official version of Aletheia, which is enabled for sale. This is one where if you search the ISBN, you will find it on Amazon, and the difference is it's listed as enabled for distribution. Again, the publication date was the 7th of September, but by enabling it for distribution prior to the publication date of the 7th of September, we got the book up for pre-order. And the pre-order rolls out at completely different times across different distributors. Again, you can't actually set a date where the pre-order goes live. It's kind of frustrating. It just happens as it happens. So the Amazon pre-order for us went live after about 48 hours. The Barnes & Noble one went live after about 76 hours. And then other websites like Book Depository took much longer, anywhere between a week to 3 months for some of the littler online retailers. So this is just a quick sample of the confirmation email you'll get. So as soon as you submit your book, it comes up as meeting your approval. Basically, that means that they checked through the cover and made sure it's the right specifications and dimensions, and they checked your PDF briefly to make sure it has formatting and the correct bleed, and you followed the formatting regulations, which if you hired a professional formatter, they should look up on Ingram Spark and know those regulations and have everything all set for you, so this shouldn't be an issue. So this means that it passed their test and they've created a sample for you, which is basically just a PDF that shows what your book will look like when it's published. So you're going to want to go and just give that a look over, make sure everything looks like you expected it to look, and then you'll want to approve that. So basically there's multiple levels. On the first level you have approving the title as seen in this email, which is basically saying that you approve that you've seen it, you've seen the sample, and you think it looks good. Then from there, you can order samples for yourself and override the not enabled for distribution. And then if you like those samples that you ordered and everything's in order, then you can enable for distribution, and that's when the metadata goes out to the retailers and your book goes up for pre-order. If you encounter any issues, just shoot me a message or an ad on Twitter and I can help you guys out. I know how scary this whole process can be, but hopefully that walkthrough helped a bit. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. If this was helpful, make sure to give it a share. Give me a like, it really does help, and I will see you guys in the next video. And as a side note, if you guys are interested in ordering Aletheia, it is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Book Depository, all of the places, in ebook, hardcover, and paperback. It is an Ingram Spark book through and through, so even if you order it through Amazon, it is printed through Ingram Spark. So if you're curious as to the quality of Ingram Spark books, go ahead and order Aletheia and you will get a live sample as to how those books look in print.